The warrior's path: discipline, focus, and inner strength. Every journey begins with a choice. Some choose comfort, some choose ease, but a warrior chooses the path of growth. This path is not decorated with shortcuts or comfort. It is carved through discipline, sharpened by focus, and sustained by an inner strength that refuses to break. If you are ready to rise above weakness, to silence the noise, and to step into the life of a true warrior, then this message is for you. Discipline is the foundation of all mastery. Without it, talent is wasted. Discipline is the foundation of all mastery. Without it, talent is wasted. Talent alone can open the door, but discipline is what keeps you walking through it. Many people believe that natural ability is the key to success. But the truth is, ability without discipline is like a blade left unsharpened. It may have potential, but it will never cut deep. Discipline is the force that transforms raw potential into refined power. It is the daily commitment to show up, even when your mind resists and your body aches. It is the refusal to let moods, emotions, or circumstances dictate whether you take action. Discipline does not ask if you feel like doing it. It commands that you do it anyway. Think about the greatest masters in any field. Behind their achievements lies not only talent, but years of silent repetition, of deliberate practice, of sacrifices made when no one was watching. The painter who spends countless nights perfecting strokes, the athlete who trains before the sun rises, the monk who dedicates himself to stillness and breath, all of them understand that mastery is born in the fire of discipline. Talent might give you a spark, but discipline is the oxygen that keeps the flame alive. Without it, talent fades into regret. Discipline is not harshness, nor is it punishment. It is a form of self-respect. It is choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. Every time you practice discipline, you affirm that your future is worth more than your present cravings. When you rise early to train while others sleep, when you study while others waste hours in distraction, when you keep promises to yourself even when no one else sees, you are building a foundation that cannot be shaken. Discipline is not about denying yourself life's pleasures. It is about mastering them so they no longer control you. But discipline is not a single act. It is a way of living. It is consistency, patience, and resilience woven together into your daily existence. Discipline is waking up when you said you would, keeping commitments when it would be easier to quit, and doing the small things with care. Because you know small things build great outcomes. It demands sacrifice, yes, but every sacrifice plants a seed for a future harvest. Without discipline, you will always fall back into the cycle of starting strong and ending weak, of dreaming big, but achieving little. With discipline, even small consistent steps lead to mountains being moved. There will be days when discipline feels like a burden, when the weight of your own commitments presses down on you. But those are the very days that matter most. Discipline is forged in discomfort. Anyone can act when they are motivated, when they are inspired, when they feel strong. But the true power of discipline appears when motivation is gone, when no one is cheering, when you stand alone against your own resistance. Each time you push through that barrier, you become stronger, more resilient, and more prepared for the challenges ahead. And here is the paradox: the more disciplined you become, the freer you are. Freedom does not come from doing whatever you feel like in the moment. It comes from having control over yourself, from not being a slave to impulses and distractions. Discipline grants freedom from regret, from wasted potential, from the chaos of a mind that cannot control itself. True freedom is not the absence of structure, it is the mastery of it. Every warrior, every master, every person who has reached greatness has walked this path. Discipline is not glamorous, it does not always bring immediate rewards. It is quiet, often unnoticed, often unappreciated, but its results cannot be hidden. Over time, discipline shapes character, builds strength, and creates the unshakable foundation on which mastery is built. Talent might be given to you, but discipline is chosen. It is earned every single day through action. So understand this truth deeply. Without discipline, your greatest gifts remain locked inside you. Without discipline, dreams remain fantasies, and talent remains wasted. But with discipline, there are no limits to what you can achieve. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you are meant to become. Walk that bridge daily, and mastery will not be a distant hope, it will be your reality. Focus turns scattered energy into unstoppable force. Focus turns scattered energy into unstoppable force. Imagine a beam of sunlight spread across the ground. It warms, it lights, but it does not ignite. Yet when that same light is concentrated through a lens, it creates fire. The human mind works the same way. Scattered energy achieves little, but focused energy can transform everything. Focus is the art of eliminating distractions, of narrowing your vision so that your thoughts, actions, and energy align toward one direction. It is the discipline of saying no to what does not serve you and giving everything to what truly matters. In today's world, distractions surround us. Notifications, endless entertainment, voices pulling us in 1,000 directions. Everywhere there is noise. This is why focus has become rare, and because it is rare, it has become powerful. Those who master focus separate themselves from the majority. They do not allow themselves to be pulled in every direction. Instead, they channel their attention like a sharpened blade. Where others waste hours, the focused individual makes every minute count. Focus does not just save time, it multiplies it. Because deep concentration allows you to achieve in 1 hour what distraction would stretch into 10. Focus is not simply about working harder, it is about working with clarity. When your mind is scattered, even great effort leads to little progress. You may start one thing, then another, yet complete none. But when you focus, your actions build on one another. Momentum grows, progress becomes inevitable. The scattered mind feels busy but goes nowhere. The focused mind may do less, but what it does creates lasting impact. To cultivate focus, you must first decide what is truly important. Without clarity, focus cannot exist. The warrior knows his target before he draws his bow. Without a clear target, arrows are wasted. The same is true in life. If you do not define your priorities, distractions will decide them for you. Once you have chosen your goal, guard your attention like it is treasure, because it is. Every time you give your focus away carelessly, you weaken your power. But every time you direct it with purpose, you strengthen your force. Focus is not only external, it is also internal. It requires quieting the restless mind, silencing doubts, and calming the noise within. You must learn to direct not only your time but your thoughts. When negativity rises, when fear whispers, when impatience pushes, focus pulls you back to the present moment, to the task at hand, to the one step that matters now. Focus is not about controlling everything, it is about controlling yourself. The beauty of focus is that it compounds. Each day you train your mind to concentrate, your ability grows sharper. Just as muscles strengthen with repetition, focus becomes stronger with practice. At first it may be difficult, the mind will wander, the world will interrupt, temptations will call, but each time you resist and return to your task, you reclaim your power. Over time, what once required effort becomes natural, and focus becomes your default state. When you look at the lives of those who have created great impact, you will find a common thread. They knew how to focus. They were not necessarily the most talented, but they mastered the ability to direct their energy. They did not allow themselves to be distracted by every opportunity, every desire, every passing thought. They chose one vision and pursued it with everything they had. That is why their energy became unstoppable. Understand this: scattered energy leads to exhaustion, frustration, and wasted potential. You may work hard yet see little progress because your energy is spread too thin. But when you focus, your energy becomes like a river that cuts through stone. It does not happen overnight, but with persistence, even the hardest obstacles yield to the power of steady, concentrated effort. Focus is not about doing more, it is about doing what matters most with intensity. It is about being present, being deliberate, and being unwilling to let the noise of the world dictate the direction of your life. When you master focus, you reclaim control over your time, your energy, and your destiny. Scattered energy will always leave you drained, but focused energy will make you unstoppable. Inner strength is built not in comfort but in challenge and adversity. Inner strength is built not in comfort but in challenge and adversity. Comfort is soft, familiar, and safe, but it does not shape the unbreakable spirit. True strength is forged in fire, in the moments when life tests you, when the weight feels unbearable, when everything inside you whispers to quit but you choose to endure. Adversity is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. It strips away illusions, exposes your limits, and then demands that you rise beyond them. Every struggle you face is an invitation to grow, to discover that you are capable of far more than you once believed. When life is easy, the muscles of the mind, body, and spirit remain dormant. Ease does not demand effort, and without effort, there is no growth. Just as the body grows stronger under resistance, the soul grows stronger under hardship. A warrior does not curse the challenge, he welcomes it, because he knows that adversity is the ground where resilience is born. Each obstacle is not there to break you, but to build you, to chisel away weakness and reveal the strength hidden within. Think of a tree standing in the wind. If it were never challenged by storms, its roots would remain shallow, and a gentle breeze could topple it. But because it endures the storms, it digs deeper, it anchors itself, and it becomes unmovable. You are no different. Every storm you survive deepens your roots. Every hardship you face carves resilience into your being. When you look back, you will realize that the times of greatest struggle were the times you grew the most. Inner strength is not about appearing strong when life is easy. It is about remaining unshaken when everything falls apart. It is about standing tall when the world pushes you to your knees. It is about finding calm in chaos, hope in despair, and courage in fear. Inner strength whispers, keep going when every part of you screams to stop. It is invisible to the outside world, but within, it is the unyielding force that keeps you moving forward. The path of comfort may feel safe, but it steals your potential. Comfort lulls you into weakness because it demands nothing of you. Adversity, on the other hand, calls out your courage, your patience, your perseverance. It forces you to discover who you truly are beneath the surface. You do not learn who you are when life is gentle. You learn when life is merciless. That is when your character is revealed, when your true nature emerges. Adversity is not about punishment, it is about preparation. Life prepares you for greater challenges by giving you smaller ones first. If you run from them, you remain fragile. But if you face them, you grow stronger, and what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. The more you embrace discomfort, the more you expand your capacity to endure, to adapt, to overcome, and with each victory, your confidence grows. Not arrogance, but the quiet certainty that no matter what comes, you will not be broken. Inner strength does not mean you will never fall. It means you will rise every time you do. It means you will not allow setbacks to define you or failures to stop you. The strongest people are not those who never stumble, but those who stumble and stand again, with even greater resolve. Their scars are not signs of weakness, but of survival, of battles fought and lessons learned. When you understand that adversity is a gift, you stop running from it. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? Every challenge carries within it a lesson. Every struggle is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Comfort offers you ease, but adversity offers you growth. And growth is the true path to inner strength. So do not seek the easy road. Seek the road that tests you, that demands more from you than you thought possible. Stand in the fire of challenge and let it refine you. The warrior knows that comfort is temporary, but strength is eternal, and strength is earned, not given. You earn it through hardship, through perseverance, through the courage to face what others avoid. Inner strength is built in the storms of life, and when you embrace them, you discover that nothing can truly break you. A warrior's path is walked with consistency, patience, and self-respect. A warrior's path is walked with consistency, patience, and self-respect. It is not a sprint toward glory, nor a sudden leap to mastery. It is a steady, deliberate walk, taken step by step, day by day, with a clear heart and an unwavering mind. Consistency is the heartbeat of this journey. Without it, even the greatest intentions fade into nothing. Patience is the breath that sustains the warrior through trials and waiting. Without it, frustration consumes the spirit, and self-respect is the guiding light, reminding the warrior that the way you treat yourself shapes the way you face the world. These three, consistency, patience, and self-respect, are not separate virtues, but threads woven together into the fabric of the warrior's path. Consistency is what transforms small actions into monumental outcomes. One act of discipline may feel powerful in the moment, but only when repeated endlessly does it bear fruit. The warrior knows that greatness is not built in sudden bursts of energy, but in steady repetition. Every sunrise is met with training, every day is faced with effort, every task is given attention, no matter how ordinary it seems. Success is not a matter of chance, but of habits repeated until they form an unshakable foundation. The warrior does not wait for motivation. He relies on consistency to carry him when feelings fade. Patience is what keeps the warrior moving when results are not immediate. In a world obsessed with speed, patience is a rare strength, Growth cannot be rushed. Just as a seed cannot bloom into a tree overnight, the warrior understands that mastery is not about racing ahead, but about enduring the long journey without losing heart. Patience teaches humility, reminding us that time is a necessary ingredient in all transformation. It is easy to grow restless, to want success now, to demand progress instantly, but the warrior accepts the seasons of life. He trusts the process, knowing that each effort, no matter how small, is adding to the final outcome, even if it cannot yet be seen. Self-respect is the soil in which consistency and patience grow. Without it, the path becomes hollow. To walk with self-respect is to honor your word, to keep promises you make to yourself, and to recognize your own worth. The warrior does not belittle himself with excuses, nor does he compromise his values for temporary gain. Self-respect means standing tall in both victory and defeat, acknowledging mistakes but refusing to let them define you. It means treating yourself as someone worthy of discipline, worthy of effort, worthy of patience. Without self-respect, the journey becomes a burden. With it, every step becomes an act of honor. The path of the warrior is not glamorous, it is not a constant display of victories and rewards. Much of it is repetition and silence, enduring long stretches of effort without recognition, persisting when no one is watching. Many fall away because they crave quick results or applause, but the warrior continues because his purpose runs deeper. Consistency keeps him steady, patience keeps him calm, and self-respect keeps him dignified. Together they forge an inner strength that cannot be shaken by setbacks or slowed by obstacles. This path requires humility, because progress often appears invisible. Days may pass with no obvious change, yet the warrior continues. He trusts that time will reveal what persistence has built. He knows that every action, though small, compounds into something greater. Just as drops of water carve stone, so too does daily effort carve character. This is the secret of the warrior's endurance. He does not demand instant transformation, but commits to the journey itself. And in this commitment lies freedom. When you live with consistency, you no longer depend on fleeting motivation. When you practice patience, you no longer fear delay. When you honor self-respect, you no longer chase validation from the outside world. The warrior's path is not about reaching a destination quickly, but about becoming someone who cannot be broken, someone who cannot be swayed, someone who walks with dignity regardless of the outcome. To walk this path is to accept that greatness is not achieved in a single act, but in countless steps repeated with faith. It is to embrace the truth that the strongest victories are not the ones others see, but the ones you win within yourself. Consistency shapes your habits, patience shapes your perspective, and self-respect shapes your spirit. Together, they make you unshakable. The warrior knows that there will be challenges, delays, and moments of doubt, but he continues walking. He does not rush, he does not quit, and he does not betray himself. Each step he takes is a declaration of who he is and who he is becoming. And by walking this way, he shows the world that true strength is not found in flashes of brilliance, but in the steady rhythm of a life lived with purpose, honor, and unyielding resolve. True victory is not over others, but over the weaknesses within oneself. True victory is not over others, but over the weaknesses within oneself. Many people spend their lives trying to outshine others, to compete, to prove their worth through external battles. They measure success by how many opponents they defeat, how many accolades they collect, or how much recognition they receive, but all of that fades. The applause of the crowd is temporary, and the victory over another person is fleeting. The true battle, the only one that truly matters, is the one you fight within. It is not against the world outside, but against the doubts, fears, excuses, and limitations that live inside your own mind. The greatest enemy you will ever face is not another person, it is the voice inside that whispers you are not enough. It is the temptation to quit when things become difficult. It is the laziness that tells you to stay in comfort, the fear that convinces you to stay small, the self-doubt that chains you to your past. These are the real obstacles on the warrior's path. Until you conquer them, no victory over others will ever bring lasting fulfillment. To win over yourself is to rise above excuses. Excuses are seductive. They offer comfort, but they steal your potential. They tell you there is always tomorrow, that you are too tired, too unprepared, too weak. Victory comes when you silence those excuses and act anyway. Each time you overcome the voice that says not today, you strengthen the voice that says keep going. This is the daily battle, the discipline to move forward despite resistance, the courage to show up when it is easier to hide. To win over yourself is to master your emotions. Anger, envy, fear, impatience. If left uncontrolled, they rule you. They dictate your choices and cloud your judgment. But the warrior learns to acknowledge emotions without being enslaved by them. He feels fear but moves forward anyway. He feels anger but channels it into discipline. He feels doubt but does not let it control his actions. Mastery of the self does not mean suppressing emotions. It means using them as fuel rather than chains. To win over yourself is also to rise above comparison. The urge to measure your worth by the progress of others is a trap that weakens your spirit. No two journeys are the same and no two battles are identical. When you focus on defeating others, you miss the point. The only question that matters is this: are you stronger, wiser, and more disciplined than you were yesterday? That is the standard of true victory. Growth is not measured by how far ahead of others you are, but by how far you have come from the person you used to be. True victory requires honesty. You cannot hide from yourself. You may deceive others, but within you, the truth is always known. To win over yourself, you must face your flaws, acknowledge your weaknesses, and commit to working on them daily. This requires humility, because it is easier to point out the flaws in others than to confront your own. But every time you choose honesty over denial, you take a step closer to mastery. True victory also requires perseverance. The inner battle is not won once and for all. It is fought every day, every moment, with every decision. There will be setbacks, failures, and days when you feel you have lost. But the warrior understands that falling does not mean defeat. Each time you rise after falling, each time you recommit to the path, you win again. Victory is not perfection, it is persistence. And when you begin to win these inner battles, life changes. You no longer need to prove yourself to the world, because you have proven yourself to yourself. You no longer fear challenges, because you know you can face them. You no longer need the validation of others, because you carry within you the quiet confidence of self-mastery. This is a victory that cannot be taken from you because it does not depend on anyone else. The greatest conquerors in history ruled nations, but the greatest warriors ruled themselves. To defeat another is temporary, but to conquer yourself is eternal. The battles within, against fear, doubt, laziness, pride, are the hardest battles you will ever face, but they are also the most rewarding, because each one brings you closer to freedom, peace, and unshakable strength. True victory is not in standing above others, but in standing above your own weakness. It is not in silencing the world, but in silencing the doubts within. It is not in conquering lands, but in conquering your own mind and spirit. This is the victory that lasts, the victory that defines the warrior, the victory that turns an ordinary life into one of purpose, strength, and honor. The warrior's path is not defined by talent, luck, or circumstance. It is defined by the choices you make every single day. Discipline builds your foundation, focus channels your energy, adversity forges your inner strength, consistency and patience carry you forward, and victory comes when you conquer the battles within yourself. These are not abstract ideas. They are practices, lived out in the quiet moments when no one is watching, in the struggles you face when the world seems against you, and in the promises you keep to yourself when it would be easier to walk away. To walk this path is not to seek perfection, but to embrace growth. It is not to chase recognition, but to pursue purpose. It is not to defeat others, but to rise above your own limitations. A warrior is not someone who never falls. A warrior is someone who refuses to stay down. Strength is not given, it is earned. And it is earned, not once, but every single day you choose to rise, to endure, and to keep walking forward. So step onto this path with courage, carry your discipline like armor, wield your focus like a blade, let adversity sharpen you, walk with consistency and patience, and honor yourself with self-respect. The greatest battle you will ever fight is within, and the greatest victory you will ever achieve is to master yourself. This is the way of the warrior, and if you choose it, nothing in this world can break you.